Hello everyone, Espurr here. Now, what is a day of a game on TC Brinewater? We're watching the Spatana. Hoping like in this little box here, I do know how it happened, but whatever. Anyways, let's get on to the game. Here we go. So it seems like you're trying to paint for your stamp. Here's another thing. If you want to paint for your stamp, it's usually better to not stay in your spawn, but try to leave and paint. Don't just paint, leave your spawn and paint. Because you can notice you got most of your special when you were actually, walking out. Also, you waited a very long time to actually do something. I want to mention, whenever you're kind of waiting, every second you're spending waiting is a second you're not there to help your team. That is, I tend to be pretty opposed to sharking and waiting, everything like that. Anyways, here you kind of have no option. You can't really push up. But at the very least, you could try to paint. But, someone's on mid. Are you going to take him out? Okay. You didn't take him out, but now you're going to try to raid tower when you're probably going to die. And then you back off. I'd say at least try throwing your stamp. Go for like a snipe. Alright. Yeah. What I'm noticing right now, I should mention, the player here didn't really know what they were doing wrong. They were looked at the game themselves, were like, hey, I just don't know. So what that kind of tells me is what they think they're doing is they think they're being safe, and they think they're playing for their torps or something like that, which, I can see how they can think of how that can happen. And you know what, that's why I'm here. If someone looks at their gameplay, they don't see a problem with it, but they know they're losing, that's why I'm here. I'm here to tell them why they're losing. Alright. So now you're going to try to stamp into their... Okay, no. You realize that's really not an option. But I do want to point out, with stamps, or rush mode stamp, it's kind of fundamentally flawed. Because think of it like this. I'm going to pause it here. This will take a bit. So, the weakness is with... Okay, stamp is really strong from the front. It blocks shots, takes out bombs, all that stuff. It's neat. Here's the thing. And its weakness is that it is vulnerable from the sides and the back. Now that can be fine if you're covered by your team. But the thing with rush mode is that it goes forward. It always goes forward unless you stop it really early. So what that means is as you rush further and further, you go deeper and deeper into the enemy. But because you're going deeper and deeper into the enemy, your sides and back are going to be more and more exposed, which means you're more and more likely to die. That kind of means that rush mode is will fundamentally make you really vulnerable, and in my opinion, it's kind of fundamentally bad. You can rush in if you think that there's no way the enemy can shoot at your sides. But more often than not, it's usually better to rush a little bit if you want to. But it's 100%, in my opinion, is 100% better to just throw the stamp. Because another way to think of it is the longer you're in stamp mode, why are you rushing tower? The longer you're in stamp mode, okay, actually, no. I'll say it like this. The sooner you get rid of your stamp, the sooner you can actually paint and do other stuff that your stamp can't do, that your main weapon can. Not only that, but you're really likely to get a lot of the value you get out of your stamp by just throwing it. Because when you rush mode, you're usually going to go into a in a line. Not necessarily in line. Basically, you're able to get a lot of the value you get from throwing a stamp with the same as rushing with the stamp. Which basically means if you throw it, you get the same value, but less risk. Anyways, I was also noticing when you were during the defense. No, it's not time to put. Well, kind of. Okay. So your team is kind of dying from the back. Yeah, okay, so you're so... You knew you had to push, more or less, but you also, because you were so focused on the push, you didn't notice that your team was dying from the back. And now you kind of just left your squad alone to die, and now you're going to try to rush in, and you're going to get nothing done. Well, you get 1 kill, but yeah. Alright, you got a little bit turf. I'm going to be honest, the ballpoint should have shot you, but okay, fine. Let's see. And now you're going to rush in, completely ignoring the fact that someone to your left. Luckily, someone in front of you died. And there. I'm going to be honest, the only reason you're not dead is because your teammates, you know, saved you, and because the enemy made mistakes. That's not good. Like, well, okay, in solo queue, that's not good. Anyways, you're trying to hold the front, but you're nowhere near where tower should be. Granted, they should have it. On one hand, yeah, they should be able to handle tower alone. There are 3 people. But on the other hand, you don't need to be that far up. You completely left the area that your team can support you. You're playing completely independently of your team, I'm realizing. Actually, no, not I'm real. Well, yeah, that was the big thing. Like, I know this is solo queue, and haha, you can't trust your teammates. Just play alone, go get the kills yourself. But that's not... Oh, did you just get off tower? No, you actually just lost the game. You got off tower. Yeah. So, here's the main thing. It really felt like that all of your decisions did not consider your team. That's a huge thing. You need to I know this is like solo queue and, you know, the joke, you can't trust your team. They're bad, haha, but like, if you don't, but like, that's a joke. In reality, you need to consider the status of your team. You need to consider what they're capable to do in that moment. And you need to consider, you know, like, how to help them. They were helping you, but you weren't helping them. Not once did I see you help them. And that's a huge problem. So the main things here is, like, I remember in like the Discord DMs, it seemed like they were asking for like some kind of hidden tech of Wiper or something like that. Well, no. What you need isn't a hidden tech of Wiper. What you need is the hidden tech of helping your team. Yeah. A lot of people actually ask for that. Like, is there some kind of hidden tech of my weapon to like figure something out? But in reality, no. It's just getting better, thinking of new things. I guess like the new concept of helping your team. I am gonna, but that'll be it for today. I'm gonna switch scene. I did not mean to put that on. Anyways, yeah, that'll be it for today though. See y'all.